underestimate the power of dua, but we have to now start thinking bigger. We have to start thinking, how do we solve this problem? How do we connect to our children? How do we open the doors of the masajid to make the children a better place? Of the people that are going to be watching this on video, inshallah, if your masjid does not have a basketball court, get a basketball court, a professional one. Raise the funds for that first before the chandelier. The chandelier can wait. It'll be off most of the time anyway, because you're going to whine that it causes too much electricity bills. So don't worry about the chandelier. Worry more about the basketball court. Worry more about the soccer field. Worry more about the sports facilities that the kids can come hang out with. And even if they don't come and pray, if they're just here, it's better than them being at the club. So let's be realistic, right? And for the girls, have lounges or places the girls can hang out at the masjid, where they can just be by themselves and they can just do their homework there, talk to other Muslim girls there. So they're not at the mall. So they're not hanging out with non-Muslim girls. They have a safe refuge at the masjid. We have to start thinking like this, because this is America. We need refuge. This is not Pakistan, because in Pakistan you would never think of somewhere to play at the masjid. Astaghfirullah. How can that be? But here we have to draw them in. We have to. If we don't, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? So we have to start thinking, inshallah ta'ala, along these lines. May Allah Azza wa Jal make all of us sincere in our efforts. May Allah Azza wa Jal reward us for whatever little we get done. May Allah protect us, and especially our youth and our future generations, that they may become ambassadors of this deen in this land, and make this a permanent fixture, make this land a land of Islam when the time comes, inshallah ta'ala. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk, inshallah ta'ala. If anybody has any comments or questions, I'd like to I don't know if I have the answers for you, but I'd like to open it up for you guys, inshallah. Shukran lakum. Go ahead, akhi. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
You mentioned about separating the youth and stopping
Yeah.
from using Facebook, any kind of those social networks, and they can take them to separate schools. And I agree with
No, I don't say to have separate schools actually, but the rest of it I did say.
and then, but it's just delaying the cultural, or it's just isolating them completely from the American.
No, it's not. I disagree. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I disagree. The issue is, when I say have separate youth groups, are we isolating them? And look, there's no isolating you from America. You're here, and there's no way a child is not exposed to American culture. That's impossible. But at a certain age, children are more susceptible to certain temptations. Before they reach certain maturity, they're more susceptible to danger than other ages. Teenagers are very emotional, hot-blooded. They give in to temptation very quickly, right? They get angry quickly, they get seduced quickly, they get excited quickly, right? Everything happens very, very fast. This is the age where they're volatile. So we need to we need to handle them with care, is what I'm suggesting. When they reach a certain age, then of course they have to be out in the real world. But if we took care of business at a certain age, then they should be responsible on their own. You can't shelter them their whole life. But at a certain age we need to guard them. There's this Western mentality of, or not even Western, it's a non-Muslim mentality, it's not a Western thing. Let the kids figure things out by themselves. They're smart enough. That's retarded. That's not, really? Let kids figure out what things on their own? Have you seen what's out there, what the kids are up to? SubhanAllah, So on the one hand, I'm not saying that we turn this into like, downtown Hyderabad or something. But what I am saying is, genders need to be separated for certain things. Facebook, my problem with it is, it's completely redrawn the lines of haya. So Muslim guys are getting on Facebook, and then some other girl from their MSA is also on their, she sends a message, can I be your friend? Already there's a very inappropriate line to click yes to, isn't it? So now she's your friend because they're on the MSA together. And now he's staring at her picture for 5 minutes. Nobody knows, it's on his laptop, nobody knows, right? I've seen this happen. I've seen guys, you know what they do? There's brothers from the MSA, they'll go to their laptop, they'll hit up Facebook or MySpace or whatever, and then they'll stare at pictures of Muslim girls. Oh, she's cute. That one, be my friend. That one, be my friend. They're doing this, and then we're saying, oh, we're isolating. Well, let's take a step back here. Let's be a little realistic. There are two extremes in our community now. One that says, let's turn America into something it's not. And on the other, let's forget everything about Islam and it's America. It's all good. Let's find a balance here, So inshallah, that's what I'm suggesting. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Thanks for highlighting the problem. One more problem: we are we are by self responsible. I don't know what that means. Because only a couple of people who have not dish at home. Oh, like dish TV, you mean? Okay, I guess. Mostly people have dish, and even their kids' room. Ugh. They're watching Indian movies, if they're Indian, I suppose. Yeah. See, yeah. So this is actually a really serious problem. Control of media intake. There are some works by Christian groups. Look, I'm a realist. I'm not going to tell you watching movies is haram and listening to music is haram, and you've heard this enough times already, and it hasn't changed anything. So let's talk about it from a realistic point of view, okay? The realistic point of view is this. There are some Christian groups who have the same concerns as we do. They're concerned that their children are watching sexual content in certain movies, and that they're exposed to explicit material, etc. And they've actually started developing programs like, for example, there's a program called, I don't know if it's still around, it's called Clean Flicks. Right? There's a Christian group that developed it, which is basically movies that come out in theaters and stuff. They take all the filthy language out and the filthy scenes out, and they cut them out, and they make DVDs, the clean, relatively clean version of that movie. Right? Now, this is what they're doing. I mean, these are Christians. They're not even Muslims. They're Christians. They're that realistic about this stuff. And I'm not saying endorse Clean Flicks, but I am saying our kids are watching stuff that they really shouldn't be watching. At a younger age, my suggestion is, this is at least something I do personally, it may or may not work for you. Our children, my wife and I, we get videos from the public library, like, Dora episodes, or, Barney, for the younger kids, or even cartoons from older times. Nowadays they're pretty disgusting, but older cartoons. We watch them the night before for censorship. And if they're okay, then they can watch that DVD the next day on Sesame Street or whatever. We don't let them watch live TV. We don't, because we don't know what's going to come on in the next second. You just don't know, right? You have a question or something?
Just a comment.
Okay.
Just to comment on your Facebook and Twitter, I got an email from professional group. They have warned parents, not our.
Yeah. This is a national problem now.
It's a national problem.
Yes, it is.
Facebook, they have warned about parents and everybody.
Yes, this is true.
And there was this story in the Facebook also. The young girl hanged herself.
Yeah.
You all know about it?
The MySpace issue,
Yeah, the MySpace. Yeah. No, this is. I mean, actually, there are a few cases. There are a few cases like that. Even within the Muslim community, I know of cases. But see, that's the thing. We need to raise awareness of this issue. And then, you know how Allah says, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. Right? And then Allah calls us to cooperate with the people of the book, not in Aqidah. But are there some concerns we share with them? There are. And in those things, this is a golden opportunity for da'wah. If we come up with solutions for youth, the problems in America, the problems our youth have are not Muslim problems, they're American problems. So the solutions we have to offer are not just solutions for us. Who are the solutions for? Everybody. So this is a doorway into the church, into the synagogue, to give da'wah to them and look at the solutions we have. Right? This is actually a doorway to that. Solutions to marital problems. The Sunnah has the solutions to marital problems that no other religion has. They don't have what we have. So, I mean, even sharing this with the people of the book is a means of da'wah to them. And just be able to start thinking along these terms, inshallah. Akhi, you had a comment. And I don't know how we can get to the sisters if they have any questions or comments. I guess they could pass them in writing or something, and then make a paper plane and then shoot it over, inshallah, and then we'll try to catch it. Okay.
One of the biggest problems right now that we're facing, as you mentioned in your speech, are common techniques that taboos being created for children.
Yes.
My son is in 5th grade, and he was shown the documentary, or he was shown the video of internet attitudes, sexuality. But we don't have anybody in our society. We don't take initiative, and we have left it behind on giving hands to non-believers.
Yes.
What do you suggest? How should we tackle this problem as far as the society is concerned?
This is my suggestion. I said one of the key job openings in the Muslim community is what? Youth directors. Here's the second key job opening. Muslim psychotherapists, psychologists, Muslim social workers, Muslim female pediatricians and male pediatricians that can give a health class to Muslim kids at the masjid. Instead of taking a health class at high school or at the documentary that they're going to watch there, that they get it from the Muslims themselves in a proper fashion, right? This is absolutely critical. It's absolutely critical. We don't have these resources right now. Now there are people that are doing this, but they're kind of doing it on their own. And the masajid are doing their thing and they're doing their thing. We need to find these people and we need to support them. We need to help them out because they're doing our work for us. They really are. So these are the openings that we need to create. I don't know, you may find my comments controversial, Allahu A'lam, but I have to say what I'm convinced of. You don't have to take it. In my opinion, just because someone has a degree in Sharia does not mean they know how to deal with a teenager. Nor does it mean that they know how to deal with somebody's family problems. Memorizing a bunch of hadith does not mean you're a counselor. Counseling is something else. Quran and Sunnah is something else. The best form is when you have a scholar of Islam who is also a counselor. But just becoming a scholar of Islam doesn't necessarily turn you into a counselor. It doesn't necessarily make you capable of dealing with people's problems to the point where it may even be the case that you're an imam and you're a scholar, but you have people problems in your own family. That happens too. That happens too. Why does it happen? Because we're not looking for those qualifications. Right now we have this problem of interaction with people, and it's a certain kind of alim that we need. Alim that can deal with the family problems of the community. Right? This is the need of the hour. So our ulama, one of the things they need to do as a service to the ummah is they need to study psychology. They need to study, family counseling. They need to become certified counselors, in addition to being ulama, so they can bring these two things together. Their knowledge of Quran and Sunnah, and the knowledge of how to deal with these kinds of things. Right? This is absolutely critical. This is absolutely critical, and it's not happening for the most part. Very few things that are, there are a handful of ulama that are psychologists. Handful. I could count them maybe on one hand. In the country. You know how many Islamic centers we have in the country? And how many people there are to talk? And just one thing, just to give some perspective, the projects that are going on that we should support, in my opinion, Nasiha Project. Remember this phrase, Nasiha Project. Okay? This is a group out of Canada. They started an 800 number that that youth can call if they're having problems. Anonymous 800 hotline for Muslim youth that are having problems. They want to talk to somebody, right? So they started this hotline. They started it about almost a year ago, and they put a documentary out after the first month of operation. In the first month, they got 20,000 phone calls. In the first month. And they took statistics on the phone calls they got, like this percent, like it was like 27% were talking about, having relationships with a boy or a girl without their parents knowing. Some other, like 30% were talking about drug abuse. Some were talking about family abuse. So it was like 16% of the calls they got were about suicidal teens. Suicidal Muslim teens. At least now we know. And it feels bad to hear, but at least we know. We know what's out there. So projects like that need to be funded. We need to support them. Because this is the stuff we need. And I'm embarrassed that happened in Canada. It should have happened here first. We should have come up with that first. But if it's there, we should support it. We should say, this is what needs to be done. How do we help you? So this is, I think, the direction the community has to now take. Our heads need to come together when this is a common concern. And I share this with you because, Muslims come from all different parts of the world into the country. Every masjid is so cosmopolitan. We have so many different backgrounds and thought processes and agendas, etc. Everybody's got their own agenda in the masjid, but this is one agenda we can all agree on. What do we do with our kids? That's one agenda nobody will disagree with. So let's unify ourselves on this one agenda.